This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. My name is Tim Daniel, and today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here. Let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started now. Well, on tonight's show, the bullpen stays hot-ish until Emilio Pagan comes in. We'll talk about that. Nick Lodolo has an excellent start. The Reds make their few hits count, and the Reds still find a way to get a win today, 3-2 over the Baltimore Orioles. All that and a whole lot more. Let's go ahead and start with our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I'm just going to go ahead and say the Locked On Player of the Game is Spencer Steer, strictly because I already typed up a huge segment about Nick Lodolo and went to the segment way too early. But Spencer Steer today with the big hit the Reds absolutely needed, making this game 2-0 early in the game. So Kyle Bradish at that point had a no-hitter going as he had just walked a hitter in front of us, which was, I think was Gino. I can't even remember the batting order at this point, guys. That's not good. But the Reds won a game. I don't get to do this too often. Cut me some slack. But let me see here real quick. So yeah, it was Gino. Gino gets the walk. And then that not only breaks up the no-hitter, that breaks out the shutout as well. And that big swing there as well. So that ended up being kind of the biggest, one of the bigger hit swings in the bat game, probably the biggest swing. If I could talk, man, we'd be on a roll today. So that was kind of the one that gave it away. And the Reds just found a way to not be swept today. And that's what you take. And those are the kind of the moments you need to have. So they're obviously not going to win a whole lot more games this year when things like that, when you only score 3 runs and only have 5 hits. But to make it count today was obviously really reassuring. To kind of get off the schneid, don't get swept. They've now lost their last 2 series, but have won the getaway day game. Milwaukee the other day at American Family Field, and then today at GABP. So that's kind of, I guess, the thing now. I remember last year was all about the Reds don't get swept. Now it's the Reds just loot in the last game of the series is the trend we're starting now. But I thought that home run was really nice to see and kind of put the Reds ahead. Baltimore doesn't come back to tie the game at any point. The Reds have to get an add-on run a little later in the game, which we'll get to here in just a second. But right after they get on there and get 2 runs, then Baltimore scores their run. So to make it 2-1, Lodolo's only run he gives up in the game. That was Kobe Mayo that's hit and who brought in Taylor Ward. So then you don't have any scoring until the 8th inning. But the Reds really found a way to win this one. The defense was really solid today. Obviously, the pitching was good, which we're going to talk about both here in a second. But obviously, a really nice performance there as well. And the Reds didn't get a lot of hits today, but they did make them count.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
How about rookie all-star Sal Stewart today in the bottom of the 8th when the Reds really need to play add-on because Emilio Pagan was coming in? Puts one right down the third base line into the corner left field that brings in Edwin Arroyo from second base. That was nice. Add-on runs. We haven't seen the Reds be able to get a lot of those this year, so that was really promising to see as well. Sal Stewart continues to have a great year, obviously putting up Rookie of the Year capabilities, especially in a day they got nothing from Elly. I mean, Elly was really good defensively today, but was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, so Sal Stewart kind of picking up there as well. JJ Bleday gives them nothing either, going 0 for 4. So Sal Stewart right in the middle of those 2 guys was staring at 0 for 4 day and before he got that hit. So that was really nice to see. Other guys you want to talk about in the offense side of things, already talked about Spencer here, obviously. Tyler Stevenson goes 2 for 3 today. Continues to swing a hot bat of late. Catcher's been hitting the ball pretty well. So Stevenson's last 7, he's hitting .409 with a .500 on base and a .555 slugging. His last 15, a .311, .367, .444. His last 30, a .305, .383, .463 with 3 homers, 12 RBI, and 12 walks. It's been really, really joyous to see that Tyler Stevenson is finding the swing again, because whether that's he gets back to the Cincinnati Reds, whether that's he is over here and they find a way to move him somewhere else. So we shall see how it goes, but nice to see from Sal Stewart and Tyler Stevenson as well. Not a whole lot other offense to talk about today. The outfield doesn't get any hits. Edwin Arroyo does get a nice hit there at the bottom of the order, which obviously leads to his run. I'm more and more pleased by Edwin Arroyo. I know he hasn't hit the ball well his last 7 games. He's not walking a lot. But I feel like at the bottom of the order, it's a really good spot for him while he's kind of figuring out who he is as a major league player. And obviously, he's a really good defender. They're obviously doing a lot of experimenting with how they're going to have the outfield go with Matt McLean and all that stuff. But I feel like Edwin Arroyo's played a really good second base when he's been in there. He's played a little, I don't think he's played too much short, but when he's been there, he's been fine as well. I like what they're getting from him. And I feel like they're at the bottom of the order right now is the best spot for him. TJ Friedl, the best spot for him is AAA, but I know they're short on bodies to do such a thing right now. So we'll see if they can get that together. But hey, the hitting side of things was not a whole lot, but they made it work. The pitching side of things was really good today. Let's talk about that and more, starting with Nick Lodolo right after this. A big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy the back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, then suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It adds up quick. When you buy clothes for back to school, then your kid has a growth spurt 2 weeks later and you're right back where you started. Sometimes it genuinely feels like they're growing faster than your budget can keep up. When you're buying supplies and find yourself asking how a calculator became one of the more expensive items in the cart. I wasn't expecting math to start costing me money before school even began. It feels like there's a life lesson there somewhere. I'm still trying to figure it out though. When your kid's definition of need for back to school shopping is a lot different than your definition of need, somehow the list keeps getting longer every time they look at it. Explaining the need versus want conundrum this time of year has become an annual part of the process. When the teacher supply list arrives and somehow every item feels completely reasonable on its own, then you add everything together and realize just how much stuff one kid needs for one school year. So remember, with Amazon's low back to school prices, just spend less on your kids because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school with Amazon and spend less on your kids. Thank you again for spending some time with us today on the episode of the Reds Postcast as we discuss the Cincinnati Reds victory over the Baltimore Orioles. I almost said Baltimore Ravens. I am not with it today. 3-2. And if you are an everydayer, please be sure to step up your everydayer club and join the Locked On Reds everydayer club as well. LockedOnReds.com, LockedOnReds.supercast.com. Terms and conditions apply. You get access to ad-free episodes of all your favorite Locked On episodes, as well as access to our Discord chat for $5 a month or $50 a year. And right now they're offering 7-day free trials. All right, let's get to our X Factor today in Nick Lodolo.
It's time to reveal who made the biggest under-the-radar impact with today's X Factor.
So, I know you should have flip-flopped him and Spencer Steer, but I wanted to make sure Nick Lodolo got his love today because he was really good. 6 innings, a 1-run ball, just 6 hits and 4 strikeouts. 2 back-to-back pretty solid starts. Looking at that game he had against Milwaukee, feels like he's kind of starting to feel his groove again. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it. And the old batting practice hat from like the early 2010s. It's like just been my favorite hat. I've always been a fan of that hat. But for Lodolo, you kind of see him kind of picking it up. And also, yeah, Dave says it there. I was about to mention it. The 500 career big league strikeouts for him as well. So seeing Lodolo get back in a groove. I know Hunter was not good yesterday, but like I said in my article I wrote today for Reds Daily on SI, I'm not overly worried about Hunter. I think he's going to come together pretty soon. I feel like Lodolo right now, if they can get this going with him with Abbott and Burns, and if they get Hunter going again, like, yeah, it's probably right back to the starting pitching being the strength of the team. So seeing him go out there and do outings like that, that was promising. And I feel like the Reds really, really needed that from him because innings need to be eaten up, less stress in the bullpen. We're going to talk about the bullpen to end the show here in a moment. But to see Lodolo go out there and do what he's doing just makes things a little bit more reassuring and just a nice bounce back day for him, a nice bounce back week. And that's where we kind of see how things keep going from this. So we'll see where they go from there. But nice day for Lodolo. We'll absolutely take it for sure. And then how about our bullpen today? Not named Emilio Pagan, which we'll talk about that here in a second as well. Brock Burke takes over for Lodolo, gets a nice perfect 7th inning. TJ Antone has a great 8th inning with going in inning with 2 strikeouts. And then Emilio Pagan, like Emilio Pagan does, makes things interesting. He has no getaway outs. He has no out pitch that you just feel comfortable with. He just doesn't have that going. And if he's your closer, if he's supposed to get your last 3 outs, if he's that important to your team, probably should look to upgrade in that spot now. It is his second time pitching since he came back from the IL. And it's his first save in a while. So, those are going to look nice, but probably made that a little harder than he had to. And part of that's probably just getting in a groove. If I'm going to be beneficial to Hunter on that, I guess it got to be beneficial to Pagan as well. But 32 pitches mean, and luckily they have a day off tomorrow. So that probably means that he can just relax a little bit more. But bullpen had a really good series overall against Baltimore. I think that was like the only run they gave up, if I remember correctly. So that was promising to see. This was not a great series, obviously. So to see the Reds go out there and win a couple games, when they win this one, avoid getting swept, was nice to see as well. But hey, we're going to go ahead and roll out of here as the Reds are victors today against the Baltimore Orioles 3-2, and I can learn how to talk again, because that's what I do. The Reds have 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. The Baltimore Orioles have 2 runs on 7 hits and no errors. Your winning pitcher is Nick Lodolo. He is 3-2 with a 4.68 ERA. Kyle Bradish is your losing pitcher today, who, even though he was awesome, he is 5-9 with a 3.75 ERA. And Emilio Pagan picks up his 7th save of the year as a 6.46. And now the Reds will have the day off tomorrow, and they'll be coming on and taking on the Philadelphia Phillies on Tuesday, as Andrew Abbott will take the hill for the Reds. He is currently 5-4 with a 3.88 ERA and 73 strikeouts. The Phillies, according to the MLB app, have not announced their starter yet, so I don't have that right in front of me. But we will obviously be here each and every day during the Philadelphia Phillies series as well. Also, thank you all for staying tuned with us here at Locked On, for not only me after each and every game, but Jeff Carr and Steve Offenbaker Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds as well. So on behalf of everyone here at Locked On, thank you so much for your time. Be sure to stay tuned in for Jeff and Steve, whether it's here on YouTube or on your podcast app of choice. We're on each and every one of them. I'm Tim Daniel. Go Red Legs. I will see you on Tuesday.